Okay, I think we can start. We've got both of our panelists here. So I will introduce myself. I am Lawrence Owusu. I myself and my mates who finished computer science in KNUST in 2020, 2006, quite a long time ago, decided to put up this program where we basically try to help other students, people who are actually students now, to understand a bit about how the job market is like, how to transition from being a student to working, what to expect, and also to help people to ask questions. So if you really want to understand all the different jobs that are there, some of our mates are not even in IT, right? So you could be doing computer science and turn out being a procurement manager, for example. So we're having this series for monthly, and we're going to have two panelists on every month. And they'll basically be telling us a lot about how they transition, their experience, any advice they've got. So I really hope that you will enjoy it. And if you have, there'll be time for questions. And the way we're going to play things today is I will be hosting, and we're going to have Chris, um, two Chris's, who will talk to us about a program they are organizing, very interesting. And then after that, we will go to our panelists, Eyram and Edem, who will talk us through their experience and any advice they've got. So because we want to really get this done on time, I'm going to start, and I will invite both of the Chris's to basically come in and talk to us about something that they've been working on. So Chris, Mark, and Christopher Addo, are you around? You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, Kweko, I'm here.
Okay, great. Your video is not on, but yeah, if is that planned or okay, great. There we are. All right. So Chris, do you want to talk to us? Yeah. Let's hear from you.
Well, Kweko, basically, this is what we're going to do. I think that one of the things that we need to appreciate is the fact that technology has come a very long way, and we cannot lose sight of the fact that it's currently the ish at the moment. And we need to help people to understand what it is, need to bring up people up to speed with what is happening on the tech front. And so, I mean, when you look at China, when you look at India, when you look at even Rwanda, I mean, you see that tech is taking them to so many places. One of the things that we need to appreciate is the fact that people have really put in a lot of effort to bring them up to where they are now. And if we as a country, I mean, you and I will agree that quite lately we've had a lot of the tech giants from around the world coming to settle in Ghana. We have Google, and then the latest that came in was Twitter. So it tells you that Ghana is gradually becoming a haven for, the tech giants,
Yeah.
And what it means is that there's a lot of confidence when it comes to technology in Ghana.
Yeah.
Currently, I know that they're also looking forward to building an AI kind of workspace in Ghana. And so it tells you that there's a lot of work to be done. But what are we doing? Are we ready for what is about to happen? We shouldn't sit down and let these things explode in our face. So we want to help people to, as it were, be ready for all these things that are going to happen. And so we are coming up with something called a coding dojo. Now, this is more like a volunteering kind of thing where we're going to be introducing people to the coding environment or the tech space, so people will kind of, appreciate what is happening on the tech front, and then they can, be kind of conscious, and then also be ready when the time is right, so that they can actually fit into the tech space. So basically, that's what it's going to be. And what we're trying to do is that we're going to organize some volunteers, possibly from the campuses, and then we're going to train them on what this whole program is about. The blueprint is going to be ready pretty soon, so we will share the blueprint when we're ready. And then we would love as many as possible to get on board. We'll need a lot of volunteers. And one thing we'd like people to understand is that volunteerism is a very good thing because it gives the opportunity to actually interact with lots of people. It's kind of, I remember when we in school, we used to do things like internship and all of that. And volunteerism is also that kind of thing that gives you that leverage, you know. And so it's actually builds your experience and all of that. And so, I mean, what is better than you know, being able to give back to society? So basically, this is what we want to do. And so the coding dojos are going to come up. It's going to be like a coding camp where we bring people to help support us, and then we'll be training people in coding and in the entire you know, tech space. So sometime to come, we would have had some people who are ready to actually take on what is about to explode.
Great, thank you very much. I think that's exciting. So I suppose at some point you will have an email or something so we can share to all those who have registered. So if someone is interested and they want to join,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
Okay,
So we're
thank you
going to
very.
do that. I'll share that later.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Is
Thank
the
you so
other
much.
Chris talking, or you've done all the talking for both of you?
I think the other Chris is on a trip now.
Okay,
He sent a message saying that I think he was traveling, so he's currently on a trip. I'm not sure he'll be able to speak currently, so
okay.
we'll just leave it here for now.
Okay, great. So basically, thanks for you shared. We will share the information. We've got all your email address, so we'll push that through at some point. And you know how to join. Thank you very much, Chris. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. I'm going to invite Eyram. Yes, where's Eyram? I think I need to allow you to unmute yourselves. Just a second. Yeah, there you are. And where is Mr. Morny? He's somewhere here. Edem, can you unmute yourself and say hello so I can? There you are.
Yes.
Okay. So here's the Eyram and Edem. Okay, I'm gonna let you unmute yourself. I think you should be able to unmute yourself. There you go. Brilliant. That's technology for you. We are supposed to be fixing this, aren't we? Okay. So I think we'll just jump.
Is it interesting that we are all wearing black shirts?
Well, I'm not wearing black. We are not all. You are both wearing black.
I'm
not
talking
wearing
about
black.
panelists.
Did you guys have a chat before this and decided to wear black? Anyway, we will jump straight on, but I will introduce our guests. I'm not going to sort of give a long chat because I think most of you know, if you sign up, you already know exactly what. So we've got Edem. Edem, can you give us a wave? Yeah, there he is. And Edem will tell us all about himself, but he's a principal engineer. And we've got Eyram, who is a co-founder of Leti Arts. So we've got two very distinguished guys in our year group who will take us through our very, very first series. And I think it's going to be interesting. So as I said, you all get the opportunity to ask questions at some point. But at the moment, it's just going to be the two of them. So Edem and Eyram, if you just keep your mics unmuted, because I'm just going to stop people from unmuting themselves. So you unmute yourselves. So before I do that, I think Eyram is still muted. So if you can unmute yourself, Eyram, and then I will just mute everyone. Okay, all right, brilliant. So yeah, let's start. I will. So I'm just going to ask a question, and Eyram will go first, right? So Eyram, can you tell us about how you got into computer science or IT in the first place before you came to university? So what happened to you before uni?
So for me, I was actually born in KNUST Hospital. So, so KNUST was in me before
before you came to tech.
Came to tech, but I think since childhood I've been fascinated about games, comics all my life. So you know, my dad was a lecturer in College of Arts. So I used to write stories and force him to illustrate for me, and he used to teach me how to draw and stuff like that. So I was very much interested in comics, games, and he would buy video games for me. I wouldn't ask for shoes or clothes, only ask for computer games or anything technical, robots,
Okay.
remote cars. So I was already very much interested in technology from primary school to JSS. So I think in JSS, I had this Green Lantern comic book and Superman comic book, and it had a video game on Super Nintendo. They were advertising that video game on Super Nintendo. So by then I had also made my first comic, Sword of Cygos, and I really wanted to make the video game of Sword of Cygos to also come to Super Nintendo, and that was how come I got interested in programming. So I got exposed to Secret Guide to Computers. I read everything in that book by Ruth Walter, like back then, from the computer science department. I also used to spend a lot of time in AVU, at AVU then, which is now Institute of Distance Learning. I was one of the first people to get an email address when it was SMTP based. Like you can only send email from one computer and it's your name and all that.
Yeah.
And I'll go to physics department for diodes and small things to do robots and stuff like that in JSS and stuff. So I love tech. I was tech, and I even went to Tratex before becoming a student in KNUST. Right, we had a company in JSS called TopSoft. Took it to SSS and even brought it to university. Right, and
That's
TopSoft
that,
making those kind of
yeah, that's interesting. So basically, and a lot of the things you are saying, I did computer science with you, but I have no idea of the things you are saying, right? So at the time you were doing those things, I don't know, maybe playing football. I had no idea what was going on. So basically for you, it was so like, you basically knew you were going to do computer science before uni. So because you were already in it, basically.
Yes,
Okay.
like
Okay, that's good. So let's go to Edem Morny. Can you tell us, how did this start for you before university?
Yeah, I mean, my story is not as dramatic and exciting as Eyram's. It's a very boring story. But I think my dad was also quite interested in the use of computers for his work. He was a management consultant. So it's one of the, I got in, he would bring this a laptop. It was like a case. Those old time kind of cases. And then you open it up, and then with a DOS screen, and he's doing some, preparing some reports and whatnots on it and all that. So it kind of got me wondering, what is this thing? And I got interested in it. So he encouraged me, got me like programs that could help me get more interested in programming, brought games. And then I was like, you are playing too many games. Okay, you need to learn Mavis Beacon, learn how to type.
Okay. Yes, I remember Mavis Beacon. That's ideal. Yeah.
But I started way back then. So by the time I got to tech, I could really type very fast.
Okay.
So like those kind of things really interested me already in technology. And so I also knew I was going to definitely, like, I wanted to apply to do computer science.
Okay.
And thankfully I got in. And yes, I had at least the likes of Eyram and others as friends who encouraged me to, I learned from him and from others a lot. So being in that environment, like, sort of helped solidify what I had already felt I wanted to.
Okay. So you also basically, so I think it's interesting that both of you are saying your dad's played some sort of role in you coming into IT, and you, Edem, introduced me to computer games when we met in tech. I remember I used to come to your house just for the purpose of playing computer games because I didn't have a computer. Okay, let's move to the next question before we start chatting about things that I know. Okay, so this goes to Edem first, and then I'll come to Eyram. So Edem, what was your experience in KNUST doing computer science? So the 4 years you were there, what was your experience, right? Like, I don't know, anything you really want to touch on?
Yeah, the experience was mixed. I think, like most students, I was like, okay, we came to computer science and we want to do programming, I want to do this, and then you're teaching us all these boring things that we felt was not going to be really useful down the line, So, but in hindsight, it actually does turn out that a lot of that was extremely useful. But for me, even so, certainly we got introduced to a lot of programming languages. We got introduced to a lot of concepts in technology. Not just programming itself, but like in the technology space. And then I think the third pillar was like being amongst a group of friends who were really interested in technology was also a very strong point, because it
Okay.
helps you, it helps shape you, it helps encourage you, and you learn from other people as you go along. So yeah, that was, at the time, I would have said it was a mixed experience. Now I look back and like, okay, and there was something a lot more positive than I
Okay. So are you
imagined.
actually saying some of the courses we learned that we complained about, you thought this is not good enough? Why am I learning that? Now you look back and you think they were good?
Yeah, and I'm
Okay.
going to tell you some later on as we go along.
Okay. Let's hear from Eyram. Eyram, so you were in tech, you were born in tech and all of that. But when you came in to do computer science, like actually start as a student, did you have any different experience? And what was your experience just being a student and being in tech?
So actually for me, it was very fulfilling, because it's like growing up on campus, you see university students and you are like, you want to be like them. So getting in was like, yes, I'm now a student, right? So I can now say I'm from Katanga, I'm from Unity. That's as a child, you go there, they sack you, that sort of thing. But so that bit was great. And also experiencing the whole computer science structure. So for us who knew some programming and some computers before coming, I'll be very blunt here, we were shocked learning science, literature, economics, and all these things. So it made us humble, right? Again, and we also had a lot of friends like Edem, you guys, we had these factions, Francis Dito, William Usunukwe, people who actually would help you go through the whole thing. So there are some strengths that you are good, like some of us who were good at programming. We help those who were good at mathematics and all that, so that we can also get from them, and when we don't come for lectures and all that. But I must say that KNUST really, really, really shapes you holistically. Right? I know back then we used to complain about the course structure and all that compared to MIT, because some of our friends were in MIT then and they were sharing their curriculum, and we thought we were not doing much. But honestly, I must say that KNUST computer science shaped us holistically.
In which way? In which way? So if you compare what you did, what friends of us in Yale, MIT, did, there was quite a massive. We used to complain a lot when, but now you're saying it shaped us. Well, what do you mean? Could you talk a bit about that?
One was I could say, I have a phrase that I've been telling in talks, that school is necessary, but you are your own school. And this is probably because KNUST gave you room to learn on your own and not depend on just what is being taught in school. So we'll be doing COBOL, and I have my class wife on it. I can see Ami somewhere here. So Ami is my class wife. So
I mean, we are saying hello to you, yeah. All the good work you did on Eyram.
And West Nightmare, So you are doing COBOL in 2006. COBOL was stopped like long time ago, but COBOL is the best structured database or coding language up to date I've ever experienced, because understanding it, I use a lot of it in the .NET and querying database structure and all that now, you understand. And it also gave us the chance to aspire for more. So you see the course from MIT and you are like, hey, this computer science, we are doing discrete math, pure math this semester. And these guys are doing computer, whatever, and something. Then you try to learn part of that and still apply it in the discrete mass and all that. And I must say that, our project work, my project work that I did actually won an MIT award, right, in the computer science in 2006. It won over an MIT competition. So I think KNUST beefs you up, opens up possibilities for you, and teaches you to acquire knowledge on your own, as well as balancing with friends and what is being taught.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I mean, Edem, do you share similar sentiments or?
Yes. And so one of the things is that a university education is meant to broaden your mind and to give you the skills that you need to be able to take on different challenges. But yes, it focuses in one particular domain, right? But it needs to be general enough to, because you are not, there's, the world of technology is now so wide, so you have so many people playing so many roles, and so there isn't, it's not like everybody who gets out of a computer science degree must become the super programmer of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But like where I am, Vibes is in Chicago, right? And I'm sitting in Ghana writing code for Vibes in Chicago. And I work with so many people who have a tech background, but sometimes what they are doing is not writing code.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So some of the things we learned, which are more of the tech industry and the way it works, is very relevant for the world out there. It's just that you don't see it when you are in school. And partly there's also the feeling that if you are not a rock star programmer, then like your order has ended because you know programming is the best thing since sliced bread. But it's not like
it's not the case. Okay, great. I think we're going to
give
come
you
to
the
that.
skills to think in a general way. And I think that's important.
Okay, we're going to thank you for that. We're going to come to that. But I think your point leads to the next question, which I'll go to Eyram for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Eyram, when you were in KNUST, right? Did you have any idea what sort of jobs you could do after school, like in terms of the career market and that sort of thing? Did you have any thoughts about that?
Yes, and because I was already running a business then, you know, when I was in KNUST, we were already building software for Capital Radio. Capital Radio was running fully on our software, radio automation software, Top Studio. And I think CTFM also was running it. So we had a business that we were running on campus, right? And I was programming then. So the whole mindset was take this business to the next level. And in the business that we had, which was Blacksoft, TopSoft becoming Blacksoft, we wanted to try new things. So we're doing, I had the mindset that programming was not just databases, bank management, or coding or something. Robotics was there, game development was there, 3D visualization, character development, even working with artists, art department, and all that, right? So though I was working in a business then, my mindset after school was to just continue with the software development services because we were making money from there. I didn't have the mindset to work for anyone right from KNUST. I didn't want to become an employee. So I wanted to have my own company to run. And the idea of games, to run a game company, didn't actually come from KNUST, though I had experimented it. But I looked at KNUST as a safe place, or school as a safe place to try out things. So within KNUST, I tried everything. I tried robotics, I tried gaming, I tried DJ applications, I tried like different types of coding to select.
How did you manage to do that with studies? Because it was quite a tough course.
I think Edem knows it.
Edem is going to answer that question for you. Okay, Edem, keep that in your head.
But we did a lot. We tried a lot of stuff, and we took up challenges. I remember Top Studio, Capital Radio could say that they wanted BBC to come on automatically at 12 midnight and play a commercial and play a presenter's jingle as if the presenter was the one doing it throughout the whole night. So they give you these things, and then you need to model it and code it for it to work that way, right? And I think one thing that also happened to me in KNUST within that period was choosing gaming as my final year project, which Professor Akofa did for me, and I say everywhere. Like I say that because of the not prof gave me to do gaming, that is what has given birth to a whole African video game industry. So everywhere I go, I'm like, my lecturer gave, when I said I'll make games, I remember Osei Bonsu, Panfo, all those people are like, now, what's say, then Prof invited me to his office, and he's like, Eyram, show me what you've been talking about. Like I showed him, and he's just like, Eyram, I'm going to supervise you, continue.
Good.
And he gave me that sort of like
the encouragement, right? He pushed you.
Yes, so I'm very proud, and I know that he must be proud to have like contributed. He doesn't, like, he might not know, but I'm telling him now that whatever is in the gaming industry now in Africa, no matter how small it is,
he's the grandfather.
The grandfather came from that nod that he said we should do. So it made KNUST a risk taker, because that game became the first game ever made in Sub-Saharan Africa. And as I speak, they want to document it as part of like the origins, right? To end it, I also gave a talk at MIT Harvard, and I said that it's not that I don't want to come to MIT or I don't want to come to Harvard. Up till now, I've still not done masters, I've still not done PhD, but why? It's because that I want KNUST or a local university to own what I've done. Once I go to MIT, everything I've done is not new anymore.
Yeah.
You just say
MIT be claimed.
Take my
Harvard educated Eyram and MIT educated Eyram. Yeah.
Look, I want it to be KNUST educated.
Educated Eyram. Good.
You know, that sort of thing. So that is the direction that we want to take it. And when you get to a certain level, it is going to KNUST that gives you that kind of courage. And I know what computer science has done for me. It's only us here, sitting here, who know exactly what computer science has done for us, right? And that is what I have to say.
Thank you, Eyram. So Edem, the same question to you. Like when you were in tech, right, doing computer science, did you have any idea what sorts of jobs you could do, like the career market? You know, your dad was a management consultant, but that was in a slightly different area. Like, did you have any thoughts then?
No, I think, okay, so at least one, I knew I wanted to be involved in programming. But in terms of knowing how wide the market was out there or what the possibilities are or were, I don't think we were that exposed I don't think we were that exposed to what the possibilities were. Although the course was preparing us for those possibilities, we were still very limited in our mindset of what was possible. So that you think that it's only, you have to be a programmer or you have to do networking or you have to do this. But so that's maybe one of the things that we need to, that's probably one of the reasons why we are doing this, because we need to help people see that there's a whole lot of array of jobs and opportunities that comes through having a computer science degree. And it's rather up to us to explore and put that to use.
Okay, thank you very much, Edem. And I'll come back to you, Edem. So, two things. I just want two things. What two things would you have wished you knew about work or career that you wished you knew at tech? So when you were at tech, like now that we've been working for about 14, 15 years, right? Or a bit more. Is there any two things that the 20-year-old Edem at tech didn't know and you wished you knew?
Yeah, one thing. Do they still do com skills?
Well, I think so. I think some of the guys here, some of the students here might tell us. I think
no
they still
kidding.
do communication skills.
How to communicate is extremely important. So in Vibes, I lead a team of 3 other engineers that I'm working directly with, and about 14 other engineers who somehow indirectly report to me. And so, earlier when we began, like I always had to be the front trying to respond to everything, because people didn't take their ability to communicate very important. How to put your words together in a proper written document to explain, because you are writing technical concepts and you need to communicate it so that people understand what you are trying to say.
And these technical things are usually being read by non-technical people, right?
By non-technical people.
Okay.
So you need to find a way to take your technical whatnots and explain it and write it down to a non-technical person who's going to take what you have produced and make use of it. So the thing we're doing comes because you are writing an essay on this, or you are writing this on that, and you think we are here to do computer science. What has that got to do with chemistry? But how to communicate and express yourself is so critical. It's so critical even to how you are perceived. So that is one that I think, I mean, that in hindsight, I should have taken more seriously. And as we are doing this, I mean, anybody who is still in school can learn that lesson now instead of waiting till then, of how we communicate and express ourselves, as it tells so much about you, not just your technical skills that you have. And then I think the other thing is that, pay more attention to the concepts. For example, one of the things we did was data structures. Right? Data structures is such an important course and such an important tool. So it doesn't matter what programming language you are using, and even so, yes, it's meant to teach you efficient use of algorithms, but even efficient use of effort. So you are maybe weeding. How many minutes is it going to take you to weed? Or maybe if you use a machine, you would be able to finish faster. All right. You are doing data structures. How long does it take you to run through an array list? And so on and so forth. What is the more efficient way to do things? Those times it's like, oh, okay, so big O notation. So who cares?
Yes.
But when you're actually writing code and you are looking at efficiency of what you are doing, think of what data structures are optimal to use to do what you need to do.
Okay.
So although some of these may sound like abstract things that you are learning, I think in hindsight, you should have paid better attention so that you get those concepts right from the beginning. Because when they are sticking in your head, it doesn't matter what problem you are trying to solve. You would always be better skilled to choose the right things to solve the right problems. Yeah, so those are the two things I would say key.
Thank you. Eyram, so what two things did you wish that the 20-year-old Eyram who was doing computer science you wished knew?
Actually, I think it's similar to Edem, but the first one is networking. Like your network is your net worth, right? The people you know, intern more, approach people more. Like I remember my first job, like Meltwater, we were thrown to go and represent the company at like a Norwegian ball. And KNUST, we don't know how to talk. You don't know even how to approach people and stuff like that. So the comm skills and the networking skills is very, 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 very key. And now when you intern at Leti, that is what I push people. Like today's students, when they come for internship, they know like nothing. So I try to push them into that form, replying emails, making sure you communicate with external clients and stuff, get you involved, and you can see how they mess up but then at least before you leave here, you would have passed, like that would have passed through you, right? So I wish I did that more because I learned it the hard way when I was in Meltwater, exponentially. Then also the next one is there's career and there's passion. I would have charged for all the things, all the project works I coded. I would have like nyame be rewarded. But though when I look back, all the things I didn't charge for are what I'm reaping now. right? It was like came as a blessing. Back
Okay.
in school, I think Reggie got that code very early. So, so I would have also charged for like all the code, like have a service, have a business mind. Like it's not like you are charging, it's for the time, like more conscious of my time. Because in the world of work, it's all about the hours. You get paid by the hour. You need to value yourself. Like now, if I spend an hour, I know I'm worth X amount per hour. So if I give a talk somewhere and I'm leaving, you know clearly how much you are charging.
Yeah.
Or so.
But I need to put you on record that you're doing all of this for free today. So thank you
No,
so
no, no,
much.
no, 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 no. Like this is something that everyone has to value, right? And as when I was a judge on MTN Apps Challenge, these were things that we realized that the students did not know. Those who came with apps, we asked you how much time did it take you to code this, and they don't even know the time. And we were all in that booth, like we code. We don't even know how much it costs to make this particular solution. So I wish I had that mentality before entering the professional space, because with
Okay.
all this, I had to learn the hard way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Eyram. So I think since we've been talking, there's something we've not, it's an elephant in the room which we've not mentioned. I've intentionally not mentioned that. And that is, what you do now, right? So we will talk about that. But the question is, can you tell us a bit of your journey after you graduated, right? When we left tech to what you're doing now. Can you tell us about the journey? And then, you don't need to talk too much about what you're doing now, but just tell us about the journey, because the next question will be about what you're doing now. But we are interested in the journey. I think that the question here is to focus and help students to understand how sometimes it takes a couple of steps to be where you are. So yes, let's hear you, Eyram, and then Edem.
Okay, so for me, my journey has been like right after school, I did my national service as a teaching assistant in AVU, because I was in AVU, which is the Institute of Distance Learning. So I was the teaching assistant for computer science in AVU, which was RMIT based, right? So Atta was my instructor and another Australian lecturer. So we did the software engineer, myself and Dia Benin, so we're the teaching assistants there. After AVU, I think Dia Benin had a job in Amal Bank. I decided to focus on Blacksoft, and I think I was a bit ambitious, brought a team together, Edem inclusive, that we were going to do CAN 2008, right? If
Wow,
we had
impressive.
some screenshots of that game. So we came together 6 months. I think Edem was now doing his national service then. So we coded the game and all that, but there was a guy who said he's going to give us, get us funding $3 million from MTN. That time we were hosting the local African Cup of Nations. So Ghana was
so CAN 2000, just for the very young people, because we have a lot of gray hair now.
Yeah.
Just can you please explain what CAN 2000 is?
African Cup of Nations. It was first being held in Ghana, and we were the ones host. So it was a huge event.
So this is football, right? A football, African football tournament and we're doing it in Ghana. Okay.
So we built the game like FIFA, like the EA FIFA that you played, and we did the prototype. 6 months, funding wasn't coming, and my parents were like, "Hey, Eyram." And that time to Blacksoft, we were having so much challenges with the radio station software. So clients were not paying, it was crashing. My time was just being taken in stuff. So my parents were like, "Hey, you better start applying for a job and start." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't want to work for anybody." So what I did was I applied. I sent out MTN and blah, 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 like Tigo and all that. Went for interviews at MTN, Tigo, and there was another one, Cisco, so more information systems, and I got into some more information systems, and I actually, as soon as I got into some more information systems, 2 weeks into that, I saw the meltwater advert in the newspapers. My dad asked me that, "Hey, there's this company who is saying that they are giving funding to students, train them for 2 years and give funding to students. So I looked at it, I'm like, look, this is what I want to do. But I saw another opening as a trainer. With a trainer, you should have a PhD, blah, blah, blah. So for me, I just applied to both student and trainer. For me,
all together at once.
And we went for this. I met these Norwegians. They were all Norwegians, like who wanted to start this thing. Then I met them, went through the interview as a student. Then they now gave me an offer as a trainer, as a teaching assistant in Meltwater. And as I was saying, I started working at Cisco, 2 weeks into Cisco. So I moved from Kumasi to Accra, right? I had spent 22 years of my life in Kumasi, so Accra was very, very new for me. So I came into Accra 2 weeks into Cisco, then I got Meltwater offer, which was fresh graduate on $1,000 salary. I was the only Ghanaian on the team of international people helping start this whole institution, which has trained a lot of entrepreneurs now. So I was one of the beginning classes. And I remember when I was interviewing for Cisco and MTN, I was telling them that I'm going to work for them for 1 year and then start my game company everywhere I go. So MTN is like, okay, so if we pick you, how long are you going to be with us? I'm like 1 year and I'll start my game company. And then they sacked me. Then I went to Cisco. I said the same thing. I said the same thing to everyone. And it happened like that. Like this one is a testimony for me, right? I just spoke it because that's what I wanted. And it happened that way. So I started Cisco. They still employed me, saying that I'll stay with them for 1 year. I started Cisco. Meltwater came, gave me an offer to be a teaching assistant for 1 year. And I didn't even go through the program and got funding to start my game company after 1 year. So I got a seed investment of $100,000 from Meltwater after 1 year, whilst I wasn't a student in the program. I get it. So it became like I spoke into reality what I wanted. And that's why I said that all the people I did not charge during school.
You got paid somehow in different ways.
So since then, I've been at Meltwater. I started Leti Arts after 1 year, which was 2009. And it was a very challenging thing because you are creating an industry. You have this vision of bringing games into Africa, which is not done.
Okay, so Eyram, I'm going to stop here because that is the next question, but I don't want you to just take that one. Let's just give you a second. That's the next. So Edem, tell us your journey after we graduated to where you are now. What's happened to you?
So I also did my national service on campus. I did it, obviously for the regular 1 year period, and then I followed on with Eyram because he told some of the folks at Meltwater that he had some friends who are good programmers, and the guys are trying to start a biometrics company. So it's like, well, if you, Eyram, you know some people who can come over and start this, then. So we went for interviews in Diabne, and then we got in. So that's from national service. I started work at Genki. So Genki is a biometrics company. The headquarters is in Holland, but we had an African office that was building software for detecting duplicate fingerprints. So, and that was the software that was used first. The first biometric systems that we had in Ghana for the elections was Genki that provided that it's called deduplication, the software for detecting duplicate registrations. So I think, in the election, and that was 2012. Yeah.
Yeah, we are old, man. Yeah.
Yeah. we had like 35,000 people trying to register more than once.
Exactly.
Yeah. the system that caught those people, we wrote it.
So
in
you
Ghana.
wrote it. So we should hold you responsible for. Well, in
Well, we
fact, we
caught
should be
them,
praising you. We should be praising you for building software to prevent people from voting twice.
Of
Brilliant.
course, yes. So that, and it's been, since then, it's been used in so many other African countries. From there, I moved on and started a healthcare company with a friend. And we were providing, again, software for running hospitals. It's called EMR, Electronic Medical Records software. And then from there, I joined Andela. Whilst I also had a startup of my own, which I'm still running. But then I joined Andela. So Andela is basically hiring African engineers and making them available to companies abroad.
Good.
Yeah. So Andela put me to work with Vibes.
Okay.
Vibes is in Chicago, and they're into mobile messaging. So I'm principal engineer for the push team, which is a team of engineers that are focused on push notification technology.
Okay. So let's use this then.
We are.
Okay, great. So now tell me a bit, because I think this leads into the next question. Tell me exactly what you do. So take a typical day. What do you do for your job?
Okay, so a typical day. So I am still in the nitty-gritty of writing code, right? I mean, some people have moved on to other things. Some are tech entrepreneurs and whatnot. But me, I still write code, but I'm just leading a team of people to do that. And so my day starts off with reviewing people's code, and then also we right now we have a shortage of QA people. So what we do is we test our own code. So far as you didn't write that particular functionality, you can test it. So when somebody's done, you review other people's code, you pick up functionality that others have done and test it. And if it's okay, you push it forward. And then I start early. So I start at 11 o'clock. By that time, Chicago is still asleep. They're like 6 o'clock or something like that.
You mean you start early, Ghana time, 11 o'clock, right?
Yeah, yes, that's okay.
To most Ghanaians, that's not early.
Yes, I start 11 and I finish off at 7 p.m.
Okay, that's
because
late.
I need to have a 4-hour overlap. So I start at 11, but my folks are still asleep by then. So by 2 o'clock, then they are available, and then we start working together. But in that time, yes, I'm reviewing code. I'm guiding my other developers on what needs to do. We're having meetings, stand-up meetings, to discuss the status of where we are and if anybody is having any difficulty, how we can help, and our planning and all that. So there are days when we plan, maybe for the next 2 weeks, these are the things we are going to do. And to also review what we've done in the past, maybe a month, and how we can improve on it, and so on and so forth. So, and every quarter we do a sort of OKR, where I'm the principal engineer, so I have to defend my team and speak on behalf of my team and what they've done and all that.
Good. And you're doing all of this from Ghana, and most of your team is in Chicago and other parts of the world.
That's amazing. So the interesting thing with Andela is that my team is, in other teams, it's a mix of people, but my team specifically, it's only Africans.
Okay.
So my other colleagues are in Kenya and Uganda.
Okay.
But I'm the head of that team. There are others in Andela who have mixed teams, and some of them are in the UK, some of them are in Chicago and all that. But yeah, a larger, so most of the people who I interact with beyond my immediate team are all in Chicago.
Okay, that's great. Okay, Eyram, what do you do on a day-to-day basis? So like, our time is running out, so you've got to try and keep it short for me. But yeah,
it's for me, mostly CEO stuff, not really coding. But I stopped coding for the past, I think, 5 years. I've not.
Do you miss it? Do you miss the coding?
I don't miss it, but because everything is still here, there's a frustration of the new quality of engineers that come in and onboarding engineers and getting them to work efficiently and all that. So with code, I don't miss it much. Sometimes you could do stuff, but the work is just too much. Running
Yeah.
tech.
So you are the CEO. So
Yeah.
what do you do on a typical day?
Yeah, so making sure all units are running well, all products. We have three major wings. We have Africa's Legends, which is a superhero universe made up with artists and programmers making video games, comics as well. And then we have the Afro Comics, which is a publishing platform, publishing works of creatives across Africa and all that. So you are liaising there. Then we have the consulting bit where we are working with UNDP, UNESCO, and JPIGO, all these like World Bank, MTN. So a whole lot of, so you go
Gosh, you're a very busy man then.
exactly, you go for meetings and making sure things are working, making sure you are charging the right
Fees.
revenue to keep the team
Very important.
running, paying salaries.
Yes.
And yeah, paying salaries every month, making sure the company is running, right? People's homes are running, employees are happy. Yeah, and then recently I've started going into the tech, and Edem has even been helping me onboard me into certain new technologies that they've built our staff with, just to understand how things are running, since some developers might have quit. Like someone will just quit, and then you need to now hire a new person to fill the spot, and they need to now onboard the person and stuff like that. So as an entrepreneur, it's a different thing. You are always busy, always clients calling you, things are not working, and you need to now call your respective person in charge of that particular
to fix them.
And stuff like that. But the good thing is making sure revenue comes in, and making sure talking on behalf of the company, branding the company the way it should. The company is always you, right? Your attitude as a CEO determines the culture of your company.
Of the company.
Right? So you have different people coming in, but your attitude towards certain things will make people happy. Like you have your HR person who can make a structure and all that, but the CEO's responsibility is to make sure that your company is portrayed well out there.
Outside. Okay.
The goals, and also doing all the travelings, the talks,
okay,
like stuff like this. So it's actually a busy period, and a great one as well.
Thank you. So we've got a last question, and then I'm going to open give people opportunity to ask questions. So I think Eyram, I'll give you this question first. That's the last one, and then I'll go to Edem. So what advice, we've got a lot of students here listening to us today. What advice will you give to the current students who are listening to you right now? In maybe just a minute or two, yeah.
Yeah, for me, I always tell people one thing. School is necessary, but you are your own school, right? Learn as much as you can on your own for the industry out there. And learning means job shadowing, internships, like take up challenges, go do internships, learn what is out there, right? And have the right circles of friends, right? Because for me, if you see Edem, when I got into Meltwater, I brought on board all my classmates. I brought on board Diabene, Edem.
Yeah, but we must say those people were good. They knew what they were doing. You didn't just bring in.
Not in there, like good guys, and they didn't disappoint me at all.
Yeah.
When Diabene was in Amal Bank, he also invited me to also interview at the position. So the power of network is very, very, very key. So please learn as much as you can on your own, and try everything within the school's safe space. School is a safe space. No one will take money from you. People are expecting you to become better after school. So try a lot of things within the school before you come into the world.
Before that bubble bursts, and then you really get into the real world. Very good advice, Eyram. So Edem, what would you say to the current students listening to you?
Yeah, mine is still quite close to what I'm saying, because that's in hindsight, when you look back, you realize it's an opportunity that you've been given to be in this space and to learn what you are learning, and they will come useful someday, somewhere down the line, even though you do not see it right now. So take advantage of the opportunity and build yourself up through those opportunities. And yes, look out for ways to connect with other people. Uh, 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 and I think the third one, like Eyram was saying, is technology is you can't contain technology now. Like new things keep coming out every day. And so no matter how, even MIT cannot keep up with technology.
Yes.
MIT's computer science department cannot keep up with technology. So there's only so much that your school or your course or whatnot will give you, but it's giving you the grounding to be able to explore.
Yeah.
So and I'm not talking just about, I mean, in the tech space, but any person who really wants to be really good at what they do, they need to be a person who is exploring what is out there beyond what they are just learning in school. So this applies to computer science or to anything else. But I thought computer science is really because like new things that keep coming every time. So don't put your mind only on what you're learning in school. Let that give you a grounding so that you can begin to explore what is happening in the industry.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, Eyram.
Let me add one last thing, which is very important. So it's also with the tech space about engineering, not the code, not the language. Understand software engineering. Don't depend on one language. And I can give an example. When I got into Meltwater, they actually had stated a role for Java, C++, and all that. But I was a Visual Basic. You know how I was Microsoft.
C# Visual Basic.
Yeah, the Microsoft guy.
Microsoft guy, yeah.
And the CEO of Meltwater, when they hired me, I told them, oh, but you guys want Java, and I don't know. He told me, Eyram, no, you can do it. You have a good heart. That was all he told me. And that alone changed my perspective, gave me that encouragement. So please, 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 just know design. And I rose exponentially. Within a day or two, I knew PHP already. I knew all that. And it didn't become an issue anymore because we were strong in the software engineering.
Yeah. So you had good grounding. So I think just for the sake of our students here, I'm going to allow you to unmute yourself and ask questions. But before that, I just want to make a point that the two people on on the panel today are more on the software engineering side. Eyram is CEO. So you hear us talking about coding a lot, but that's not all what computer science is about. So the next episode, you hear people who are network engineers, you hear people who are teaching, and so just don't think that this is just for coders or programmers, right? So I'm going to, you can unmute yourself now if you've got a question. We've got some few minutes for questions. So if you've got a question, please unmute yourself and ask. Anyone? Any questions at all? You don't need to put your video on. So if you are concerned, you can keep your video off and unmute yourself and ask a question. Otherwise, I will ask. Yeah.
Please give the afternoon.
Yes.
Thank you for the delivery. I'm Abraham.
Hi, Abraham.
Actually, I started with database technology, which I had no idea what I'm actually entering into. As it is now, I'm doing degree in IT at KNUST, distance level. And actually, I'm finding it difficult to actually grow interest. So I don't know, but I don't know if you can help me as to how to grow the interest in all this. Because I just entered and I chose a course, database technology. I didn't know what that was about. I had to choose something, another actually school. Yeah. So my case is not like Mr. Eyram that was actually doing something before entering into tech. So how can I develop myself? Thank you.
Thank you, Abraham. So Eyram and Edem, any of you want to go?
Yeah, I want to go. So you see, sometimes when you can see the end result of what you are learning, it makes it makes you appreciate it better. One of the things that we didn't have in our time was YouTube and video tutorials and whatnot. Like we had to only books and whatnot, and you try to pick everything from there. But whatever course you are learning, it's highly likely that there are videos out there on YouTube that can help you to see something from beginning to end. Because when you're able to see something that from beginning to end, a person sort of shows you the steps that they took, it can really help you then connect with the course you are doing and why you are doing it. So I nowadays, I don't have time anymore to teach people programming. So when they come asking, I tell, okay, go to this or go to this website or go to there. Or I have a Pluralsight account. Go and learn. There's so much on Pluralsight.
Yeah.
Go and learn and come and give me a regular report, maybe every week or 2 weeks. What have you learned? All right. But being able to see the endpoint of what you are learning, in this case, database programming and whatnot, is a very important way to motivate yourself so that you feel connected to the program you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to add to that, to just associate. I tell people that when you start learning something, associate with people in that industry. So you can do an internship. You can actually go and see how it's working in the real world, right? I have a guy, like a lady from Wesley Girls who came that she wanted to make video games. Come in. Once you come in, you see how games are managed real time. And whilst you are in school, you will appreciate better what you are going to do at the end of the course. So with database, go to a data mining, like intern in a bank, intern in the database field, and you see how IT modeling, they are using databases to store records, writing queries, and that can give you a better insight to learn the database. Trust me, it's hard. It's hard to be in school and being tested on certain theories, but don't use the school exams as the benchmark of what you know. Go into the industry and learn the tangibles for yourself, right? And you can indirectly know what you should do with your project work or your exams. So that bit is very, very important.
Okay, that's good. And Adam, another thing Abraham, sorry, is that try and do your best. When you finish school, you don't need to be a database engineer, right? You could do some other thing in IT. So it's always a good base, right? To learn and do well, and then it just gives you a springboard to other things. Any other questions? You can unmute yourself and ask. Otherwise, yeah.
Thank you. I found this useful. God bless you.
Thank you, Abraham. Any other person with a question?
And
otherwise, we will finish it.
Questions in the chat as well. So
Yes. Is there any question in the chat?
Yes, please.
Yes,
I have
Dennis.
a question.
Yes.
Yeah. Please, in Mr. Eyram's presentation, he said something about broadening our scope to other programming languages, not restricting ourselves to only one. I'm a first-year student in KNUST here, and actually, I had no background in IT, but I just have passion and I wanted to do it. But when I came here, I've seen that the things alone that we have to learn in the class are many, and a lot of them we do have nothing to do with the programming stuffs. We barely do those programming things, and sitting down to learn the program itself is time consuming, and which is kind of difficult for me. So I want to ask them how they managed both academics and the other related stuffs, and they got this far.
All right. So Dennis, your question is very interesting because I can see both Eyram and Edem smiling because I think they really understand what you're asking. So guys.
Wow.
Eyram, you want to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
No, there's no other way to sugarcoat this.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard.
All right.
And but you need to persevere through it. So
okay,
you see, if you like we say, if you assume that the things you are doing in school have no relevance to what is happening in the tech world, you would be very mistaken.
Disappointed, yeah.
As I mentioned, so just give you a rundown. In Vibes, yes, I'm working with engineers, but we have product managers, we have business analysts, we have, and these are all people who did computer science in one way or the other. But when they got out there are so many roles that they fulfilling. We have network engineers, we have DevOps engineers who are like spinning up and running five servers at a time, dealing with all sorts of load balancing and whatnot and so on. They may have come through computer science, and someone like even a business analyst or is analyzing the needs of a customer and seeing how what the software that we have meets those needs, or maybe new things that we might need to add to. But all of that, you may be taught that one is not like hardcore programming. That's like sitting down and conceptualizing and writing down what a software must do. So that's what I was talking about, something like become skills. It's like even be able to conceptualize and write down your thoughts, is essential. So whatever you are, I just want students not to have this feeling that, oh, this thing that you are learning is not relevant. It's you will only see its relevance when you're out there in the world.
So he should take it serious.
Take it serious. Do what you can with it, and do your best.
Okay.
And also, don't that computer science is coding. Actually, coding is the least. Coding is like the masons on the building, like the small boys. So coding is the least. Learn the architecture, because in software development, there's requirement taking, documentation. There is the design aspect, like the software design, which is blocks, how systems communicate with each other and all that. And then there's also the one who does the testing, like the QA, there's the technical documenter, functional documenter, and even in games, you have voiceover, you have lawyers, even IP law. And the best lawyers in our industry are those who did computer science. They are computer law, people who are doing law with the side. Look, and that's one thing where I was telling Edem with the internships that we do is we try to do a strength heightening internship. So when you come to Leti Arts and you are a website guy or a UI guy, that is all you do. You just have to grow how to build a UI. Probably you are a computer science guy, but you are a Photoshop person. It doesn't matter. What you just have to know is the architecture, what you want to do with the technical product. And I always say this, that the one who designed the iPhone equally knows the engineering of the iPhone, because he has to be able to draw the iPhone, model it in a way where an engineer can put a camera, and he knows that the camera has to. So it is an art and science discipline. So don't only succumb to the tech. Robots have replaced coding. Now I can generate a whole website by not typing a single code. A robot will code it, will do it for you. So understand the process, the design, and that one is much, much more easier if you are not able to get to the coding level. But once you understand the design, you can always implement either yourself or contract somebody to do it for you, or and then you get on with your life.
Okay, thank you, Eyram. Does that answer your question, Dennis?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Any other questions from anyone?
Sir, please, can I add one?
Yes.
Go back. Please, about the internship that they just mentioned right now.
Yeah.
Someone like myself who has just entered, and let me say I don't have any background. I'm now trying to find out my ways. Like for their companies, like do they accept people like that for internships? People who don't have any background in it at all.
We accept everyone. Just build a CV. So the requirement is build a CV and send me. I can send you a CV, make us laugh. I can send you a CV of one person a university person who builds a CV. You look at it and you shake your head. that is what I think KNUST should also be helping students with. We have to teach people how to value works that they've done. Every project work you've done, every side gig you've done, how
Put it
to down in a CV form and then send to a company.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just send. So that is how we judge what you know. Sometimes you think you don't know anything, but the CV alone and the portfolio alone that you send will just make us see that, wow, this guy has like, he knows how to articulate and put anything. If you are a choir member, put it there. If you are a part leader, put it there. If you are a voice, put it there. And you are of value. So never say that you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Just
Okay. And I think one thing I'll say is that at the end of the program, I'll put out an email address because we want to protect Edem and Eyram. We don't this will go on YouTube. You know, we don't want so many people bombarding them with emails. So I'll put an email address out, which will not go directly to them, but then we will then channel emails that need to go to them. You know, if you need to do an internship and you need help, they are very, very happy to help you. Hello, little one. So yes. Any other question, or are we good? I think we've gone past the hour. So I will just end it and say thank you, Eyram, and thank you, Edem. If someone has a question, I'll let you ask, but otherwise we'll put it. We will say that's the end of it. But Eyram and Edem, look, it's been amazing. You've spent 1 hour and a bit of your time, and I think we really want to thank you for your time. God bless you so much. Yeah. And
You're welcome.
yeah, if you're watching this video, you could just send an email to knust@googlegroups.com. And if you have any questions, you want to do internship, whatever, or you have questions for Eyram or Edem, just send it to us. I'll forward it to them. Eyram, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I think I just want to thank you for putting this together and also having us here. And also to say that, look, we are here to help. We are here to share knowledge and anything that anyone who has joined this particular forum, please try and get our contacts. Networking is key, and you may never know where we would help, like, or meet. So please take it serious and know how to do your follow-ups from these calls. It's very, 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 very key. Okay.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend. And we will see you again next month for another series with another 2 panelists. So thank you, Eyram. Thank you, Edem, and everybody. God bless you.
Welcome.
Goodbye, guys. I think one last thing. Sorry, Chris, are you still around? I think you wanted to say something about the stuff that you're doing, Chris. Are you around or not? Chris, can you speak? Yeah.
Chris, can you speak? Yeah.
Which of the Chris?
Well, any of you. Any of you.
Well, any of you. Any of you.
Oh, we just want to say thank you to our panelists for today. We want the other members, those who joined today, just tell your friends to tell their friends so that the next one, it will become beneficial to everybody, because once is the good news, you need to spread. Let's build our people so that they stop misbehaving on social media and all those things, and rather get things that can build their lives. They can spend their time productively in developing themselves. So that's all I want to say. We want to thank you. And then I saw some of our colleagues joining us. Everybody, we are glad you did. I saw Abroso and the rest.
Well, if you mention one name,
you mention
one name, you have to mention all. So be careful.
Oh no, the reason why I mentioned is that I'm in Territory. I'm in Tema. I'm at ECG training school.
All right, guys, we need to end because otherwise this is going to turn into an alumni gathering. Like, sorry, guys. Okay. Okay. All the best, and we'll see you next month. Yeah. God bless you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much for hosting.